Hello, space dogs! We're back! We're back for the international second dance floor, where, despite my best efforts, I'm looking at the screen and the the capture is all goofy. One moment. Always gotta be something, right? Let's see. If I do the thing with the thing, and I push the button, and then I push the other button, and then I do the that and the this. There we go. Oh. Someday, I'm gonna start a stream. I'm gonna be exactly on time, and everything is just gonna work exactly the way it's supposed to. But that day is not today. Oh well, that's fine. It's too bad. Oh jeez. So I have had a crazy busy day already today. I had to take Ace to work super early in the morning. So, and by super early, I mean like 4 o'clock in the morning. So I'd stayed up. Whenever I have to do that, I just stay up. Rather than I'm not like, I'm probably just not going to get to sleep like early enough to wake up for such a thing. It's easier for me to just stay awake and take her and then come back and sleep. Which is normally not a problem, except today I had a dentist appointment in the morning. So I came back and I went to sleep, but I only got to sleep for like, I don't know, 4 hours or something like that, and then I had to get up and go to the dentist. And then the heating and air people were here. To check out the heat to make sure that it's ready to go for the winter, so that I'm not cold. And then I had to go to an eye doctor appointment. So I did that, and then after that I had a nap, which I wanted it to be like, a couple of hours, maybe 2 or 3 hours. It ended up being more like 40 minutes, so I feel okay, but I'm still a little bit like tired. I don't feel sleepy tired, but like my body feels tired, right? Like it's just not well rested, so I may be a little bit slow on the stage tonight, because it's it's a thing, right? But anyway, going to Denny's. So the Denny's nearest me, is not that near. I would say it's probably a 20-minute drive away. And B, is not open 24 hours. So, yeah, can't go to Denny's at 4 o'clock in the morning, I guess. Be nice. There are very few, like 24-hour options near me. There's a McDonald's that is allegedly open 24 hours. And I say allegedly because it's like, I think they close from like 3 to 4 o'clock in the morning. But then but it's not posted that that's what they do. It's just, it does. That's what happens. 'Cause I've been there, at like 3:30 and it's like, hello, is anyone home? And they're like, go away, we're closed. And it's like, okay, geez. It said you were open 24 hours. I'm sorry that I read the sign instead of your mind. But then when COVID happened, they took their hours, they cut their hours way back, and they were closing at like, I don't know, 10 or 11. But again, it wasn't posted that that's what they would do. It just, because it still says 24 hours. But I don't know. So I don't know what they're doing now. But yeah, if you want to eat in the middle of the night, good luck. IHOP, I think, is still open 24 hours. But it's very not close. I mean, that's probably another like 20-25 minutes away from me. So anyway, let's see. Let me look at the chat real quick and say hello to everybody. Fuchsia and Glitched and Gato and Tengu and Kenan. How are y'all doing tonight? Same thing happens with the subway you go to. It says 24 hours, but nope. Yeah. Steak and Shake used to be open 24 hours, but it's not anymore. I don't know. You know, I don't even know. So during COVID, they actually like completely closed down their dining room there, so it was just walled off. So if you walked in, you could walk in to pick up like a carryout order, and that was it. The dining room was just completely like closed off. I think that's opened again, but I know the one downtown, not anywhere near me, but like way down in Indianapolis, they got rid of all of their servers. So you come in and you just order at a kiosk, and then you sit down, and then somebody brings the food to your table, but that's it. Like, they don't take your order or anything like that. So I don't know if the one by me has switched to that yet or not. I haven't actually ordered from there in a while. I don't know. Steak and Shake is okay, but for the longest time, their biggest the thing that they had going for them was that they were open, and that's just about it. Like, the food was only okay, and it was quite expensive, but you know, if it was 11, 12, 1 o'clock at night, then you know, what other options did you have? You'd go there. And then, I don't know, some years ago, maybe not quite 10 years ago, they like completely changed their menu, and they made all the prices way lower. I mean, they like almost cut them in half. So like, you can go in and get like a burger and fries for like $4, you know, and $4 or $5, and it became like the food didn't get a lot. It didn't really change. I feel like it got maybe slightly more consistent, or maybe it's not even that. Maybe it's just that, like, you know, their burger is worth $4 to me, but their burger is not worth $8 to me. Maybe that's what it really is. But Tenga, you failed a test. Oh no, I'm sorry. Did you actually fail it? Like, you know you did? Or is it like one of those when you like take the test and you're like, oh man, I did terrible on that? Because like, I remember from back in school, it's like I'd take a test and I'm like, man, I bombed that one, and I'd come back and it's like, oh no, I actually did fine. And then the ones where I thought I did fine, it was like, nope. F.A. No, I don't think I failed too many tests. I mean, probably a couple now here and there. But I don't know. Did you take the test today and you got the results back immediately, or you got the results back to a test that you took earlier, or what's up? Anyway, if you actually did fail, I'm sorry that happened, but hopefully you'll be able to make it up. Get some extra credit or something, right? Lizette, hello, welcome. But anyway, I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this screen here. I don't remember if I showed the how to play screen in for the Rebirth in the last stream. But well, first of all, this whole like intro sequence, the track sequence, whatever, looks essentially identical to the Rebirth. The only difference is it says Premiere 2 instead of the Rebirth. But like the color scheme is the same, this animation is the same, the how to play screen is the same. But what I was getting at is I noticed that they at least remembered to change the background to say Premiere 2. Because I can't remember which game it was, but at some point we were playing one of the games and the how to play screen came up, but the title in the background was like 2 games ago. It's like, good job, guys. Totally forgot to update your stuff. Oh, you got the results after doing the test. Well, hey, I guess at least you didn't have to wait for them. I can always remember like taking a test and then having to wait till like the next day to get the results, or even longer sometimes. So you just kind of have to stew. But you knew you were gonna fail? Oh, I'm sorry. Well, anyway, I hope you can make up for it. Yeah, Kenan, Whataburger. That doesn't exist. That does not exist near me. I've had it. I've had it when I went to Texas. But it is not. It's not a chain that exists up here in Indiana. So, not an option. And oh yeah, see, you can see it there. The Premiere in the big two. But so yeah, Denny's used to be open 24 hours. Perkins used to be open 24 hours. Rally's used to be open 24 hours. None of them are anymore. Or at least not the ones near me. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Other than that McDonald's, which I'm not sure if it's open 24 hours now. I can't think of what's like within 15 minutes of me that's open 24. Other than like the gas station. Yeah, you're kind of boned. You can go CVS. CVS is still open 24 hours. Now, they cut their hours. They cut their pharmacy hours back, though. It used to be you could get your prescription at 1 o'clock in the morning. There was a pharmacist on duty, and they'd, here you go. Here's your drugs. But now the pharmacy closes at like, I don't know, 6 or 7, maybe 8. I can't remember. But yeah, everything closes early. But if it weren't for a sequel to a game you're a big fan of released recently, you'd have been on time. Well, you haven't missed anything. Just me chit-chatting. The huge. What game? What's the game that you were excited about? Should I be excited? I have been the worst about, like, I can't even remember the last time I played something on my Xbox. I mean, if you think I've been bad about streaming the arcade games, I've been equally as bad or worse about playing console games, much let alone streaming them. Freedom Planet 2. I'm not familiar with that one. I'll have to look that up. Well, maybe I'll look it up right now. I have a computer right here, so. Freedom Planet Numero Dos. What kind of game is this? Oh, that looks animu as fuck. Whatever this, the like trailer intro or whatever that plays right when you get to the website is like hardcore anime open. But what is the game? Tribute to Sega Genesis platform games. Okay. Well, that looks pretty baller. I'll have to check it out. Okay. Anyway, oh hey Adrian, I'm doing pretty well. And you're talking about Splatoon. You know, I know what Splatoon is, but I've never actually played it. Also, you know, if you remember from my other streams, like I had a, what was it? I had a Switch. I bought a Switch and it sat in the box for 4 months. And then I finally opened it and I played it twice. And now then I haven't played it again since. I think it's been at least another 4 months. I don't have anything against it. I just never get around to it. So, I'm doing, obviously, if I'm doing that bad with the with my Xbox, I'm not gonna I'm gonna do even worse with the with my not primary platform, if you will. But anyway, so if you caught the Rebirth stream on last week Wednesday, oh yeah, so it's been a week. Hey, I made it. I said, what did I say on Wednesday last week? I was like, the earliest I could possibly stream would be the next Monday, but I didn't think it would happen, and I thought it'd probably be more like Tuesday or Wednesday. Well, here it is. It's Wednesday. I made it. Monday absolutely was not going to happen. I was coming back from Colossal Con East, and my flight, I think, was, you know, when I said it on Wednesday, I was like, I wasn't thinking about the fact that my flight was going to land at like 9:15, I think, and then it's like an hour for me to get home from the airport. So, you know, it was already going to be after 10 by the time I got home, minimum. And I wasn't going to want to stream then. I mean, come on. But as it turned out, like, our flight was an hour late leaving. So we were like an hour late getting in. So we got in at almost 10. And then, you know, with picking up baggage and getting home and trying to get something to eat and all that kind of stuff, it was probably almost midnight by the time I got home. And even if I was going to stream at midnight, I was definitely not like up to it. You know, just getting through the airport and doing all that jazz during the day. It's not a good time. It's to try and do something active afterwards. And hey, DJ Universe. Anyway, you know, it was interesting. I'll just as a quick aside before I get started here, that so I was coming from the airport in Allentown, and we had a connection in Philadelphia to fly home to Indianapolis, and the connection, the flight, the leg from Allentown to Philadelphia, instead of being a plane, was a bus. So apparently a bunch of like the shorter connecting flights have been converted to buses this year. I think partially like I think it's like a personnel shortage. They don't have enough pilots. They don't have enough, you know, maintenance crew. They don't have enough flight attendants. And so, you know, all of those being pretty, you know, highly trained things, like they can't replace them real easily. So, but they can get a bus a little bit more easily. So it's, so they put us on a bus to get to Philadelphia. But it was a decent bus. Like, it was nice. It was like a tour bus. So, like, the seats were pretty comfortable, had lots of leg room. It took a little bit longer, but to be honest, you know, without the security and going through all the hoopla and all that kind of stuff, and, you know, the potential of, you know, having to wait for a runway, obviously, like, the bus, in fact, left early. Like, everybody was on board, and so they're like, well, let's just go. So we left, and it was fine. It took, like, I don't know, hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes to get to Philadelphia. So it's pretty decent. But, anyway, have I ever played on first-gen pump pads that came with SD cabs? I have. you think it's worse than GX and newer pads. Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. I haven't played on the SD pads a ton, so I don't have a strong opinion of them, but I can't tell you for sure whether it's whether they were worse or whether it's just that, you know, they were old and so they were worse. I will tell you that the one thing for sure that changed over the years, during the GX era, actually, toward the end of the GX era, they switched the bars from, there used to be these posts that stuck up from the stage in the back, and then the bar would fit down over the post, and then there were two bolts on each side that would hold the bar to the post, and that sucked. Basically, especially, you know, once people started playing by, you know, grabbing the bar all the time, it would work those bolts loose, and the bar would get loose. And if they didn't tighten those bolts right away, it would start to bend the holes where the bolts would go through, and eventually it got to the point where it like became impossible to tighten them correctly, and they were just always loose. So yeah, during the run of the GX, they converted to the one-piece bars that are welded to the plate underneath. I mean, so there's a mounting plate underneath the metal here, and then there's like 2, 4, 6, 8, like 8 or 9 bolts that bolt that mounting plate to the frame of the stage underneath, and then the bar itself is welded to that mounting plate, and so it's all, you know, good and solid. Very much like DDR. DDR is a little bit more solid because I think they use a little bit heavier steel, so there's almost no flex in the bar, unlike Pump, which does have a little bit of flex, but not terrible. But DDR is like rock solid. Like, you can't really move that at all. Yeah, so they switched to this style bar, and that was like, you know, the major enhancement, and it was very much welcome and great. The only other thing that I know was different, the original SD pads had actually like incandescent bulbs for panel lights, and then I think with the DX they switched to like fluorescent tubes, these real skinny fluorescent tubes, kind of like what's in DDR, except white instead of colored. And then again, somewhere during the run of GX, they switched to LEDs. So these are the newer style GX/SX pads with the one-piece bars and the LED panel lights. Yeah, I like them. The enhancement that's come since then, as you may or may not know, is they've removed the corner brackets, and then they've brought the panels up flush with the dead panels, so the stage is nice and smooth and level. It's real nice. I like it a lot. I know Termazi's always after me to like mod my pads, but it's not a thing that I personally want to do. But I kind of treat these games like as a preservationist as much as I possibly can. So I try to keep things how they came from the factory. So if they, if something needs repaired or replaced, I will do my best to repair or replace it with the same thing that would have been used when it was new, whether or not I think it is the best thing. So for instance, like Pump has always used these wafer head screws on the brackets, which I think are great. Versus DDR, traditionally use those truss head, those dome head screws, which I think are actually pretty terrible. But when it has come up that I needed to replace some of those screws, I put the truss head ones on because that's what Konami used. So it's not necessarily that I think that that's the better thing. It's just that that's what they did, so I want to try and keep it as original as I can. So in this case, I know that you can convert your stage to the new style bracketless panels, but I'm not gonna do it. Do I prefer them? Like when I go to the arcade and play on them on like a LX cabinet? Hell yeah, those things are awesome. But since that was not a thing when this cabinet was around, I'm just gonna leave this one the way it was. But anyway, split bars are nice for transport, but they need to be taken care of compared to one-piece counterparts. Yeah, absolutely, for sure. And the reality is, like, how often do you really transport your machine? Unless you're in a rental business, like the folks that supply games to conventions and stuff like that. It's like you don't really move these things around that much. And even if you're going to move it like from one part of your arcade to another, it's not that big of a deal. Usually you can just raise the levelers and just push it right on the wheels. So anyway, 2-part better than 1-part, way easier to fix, and you can get them to become very solid with a layer or two of Gorilla Tape. I don't know what you mean by it's way easier to fix. Like, what is there to fix? Like you don't break these. I've never seen one of these broken. I've seen lots of the 2-piece ones broken. I mean, yes, you can make the 2-piece ones solid, but it requires extra steps that these just don't. So I would prefer to just stick with these. DDR's unmovable bar is the reason why it hurts to use for most people. Well, I don't know. I don't use it, so that's completely irrelevant to me. Yeah, if the bars are loose, you can tighten the screws and add tape. But that's what I'm saying. With these bars, they never go loose. Like, they just don't. So you've had some of these break? Okay, well, that's new to me. I mean, I'm not saying that they're unbreakable, but like I've never encountered this style of bar that's been broken on DDR or Pump. They just seem to hold up. But whereas the 2-piece ones, basically every single one of those I've ever seen in public is loose. And at least half of them have been loose to the point where there's no more tightening them. They're just stripped and busted. Yeah, oh, the LX ones are cheaper. Okay, I mean, that's possible. Although, even the LX cabinets that I've played on recently, they've all been pretty good. But again, I don't use the bar, so like it doesn't really matter to me. I have played on a few machines, DDR and Pump, where the bars were just missing. Which to me is just like, hey, whatever. Anyway, okay. So what I was going to say here in a second, if you watched the Rebirth stream, we covered the fact that like Rebirth is all of the new songs that are in Premiere 2, Prex 2, and nothing else. And I played through the entire list, so I played them all. So here we are in Premiere 2, and I'll probably switch to Prex 2 at some point, midway through the stream. But basically, because I've been playing all the new songs in every game up to this point, every song in here, I've already played it on stream at some point, in the last couple of months or whatever, however long I've been doing this. So, that being said, I'm probably just going to, play some stuff, take requests, this is just going to be chill. I'll take a look at some of the different modes just for the sake of looking at them, but otherwise, I don't have any, major goals or anything with this stream. But oh, so they're just spot welding it in 2 points instead of all the way around. Well, that's unfortunate. So what is the difference between Premiere and Prex? So Premiere, in Premiere 1, 2, and 3, and I just learned this actually when I was playing Premiere, before the break, is basically Premiere was when Pump went international. So came out of Korea and became a game that they released, outside of Korea. And then Premiere, or Prex, is Premiere plus Extra. So it's basically the same as Premiere, but with some of the songs from Extra, I think. And I believe, especially, I took a look here too. It looks like the interface of Prex is more like Extra than Premiere, if that makes any sense. But what is the main difference? You can kind of think of them to put it in DDR terms, you can kind of think of them like third mix plus or fourth mix plus. It's basically Premiere with some more stuff added on to it. So not quite a whole new game, but updated as an in-between step, if you will. That is probably the worst explanation, but hopefully that made some kind of sense. But all right. I'm gonna take a look at something real quick. So Daniel on my Discord asked me to play a level 1 song in easy. He said he wasn't going to be able to watch the stream, but he wanted to see kind of what the baseline difficulty was at this point in the series. So I can do that. Let me take a look at something too. Let me bring up the song list of the game. Termazi, hello. The almighty toaster. You have to play Exceed for the first time. So you've been playing Pump, but you haven't played Extreme? Is that what you're telling me? Or you just played Pump for the first time and it was Extreme or Exceed, sorry. The first song, I Love You, is a normal one. Is that a new song for this game? That's what I want to look up. Because someone who was it in the Discord? Yeah, Regen suggested Forever Love, which is a level 1, but that's been in the game since First Dance Floor. So it doesn't really I guess it doesn't necessarily represent what the baseline difficulty is at this stage in the series, unless they change the chart for it, which in Pump, who knows? That's always a possibility. They're always they seem to they do not seem to hold sacred anything. You know, it's like from one game to the next, they'll change step charts, they'll change codes, they'll change whatever. They don't seem to give a shit. They just do whatever they want. And I mean, that's fine. So you've been playing Pump but never played Exceed. Yeah. I've said on a couple of streams before, the first Pump I ever played was Premiere, but I only played it like once or twice, and then sometime later I played Exceed. So Exceed was really although Exceed I probably only played maybe 2 or 3 times, and then Exceed 2 came out, and Exceed 2 is where I really like got into Pump and started playing, heavily and regularly. So yeah, the Exceed era is definitely like, kind of near and dear to my heart. It is a wicked game though. You feel bad for whoever experienced Exceed 1. Yeah. Well, hey, we'll all get to here in a couple more streams, because the next one should be Premiere 3, Prex 3, and then guess what? Exceed 1. So, in all of its buggy glory, we'll get to experience it. Okay. I'm looking to see what a level 1 of the new... Okay, so yeah, I Love You is 1. So we'll start off with that. And I need to update my thumbnail. Oh, get the arcade carpet in there. Yeah, I guess I could do that. The thumbnail for the stream. Yeah, I thought about it. I actually thought about taking a new picture in this area, but it was... I don't know, it seemed hard. I didn't feel like it. Anyway, whatever. Adrian, do I remember the song Crash by Mr. Bryan and the Final Band? Yes, I do. That's in DDR Extreme, and I actually really don't like that song. Just the vocals on it are just garbage. He's like, nah, 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 nah. I mean, it's just like a guy singing slightly off key and just kind of like blah. You just blaring it all. It's I don't know. I don't enjoy that song. Pump It Up Exceed for the PS2 or the arcade machine. Well, here it'll be arcade. But anyway, let's get started.
Hit me!
Stomp your feet. Oh, stamp your foot, it says. Then gauge level upgrade. Miss the arrow step, then you lose gauge level. I like that the demo character... Did the demo character even move? I didn't see them do anything. Alright. So we're looking at easy mode. And the very first song is a 1. That's a good place to put it. Oh, okay, so we're still on the old style, or we're still on the tap upper left 3 times to change speed. Okay. Rebirth was not that, I don't think. So, seems pretty, I don't know. Seems reasonable, right? For a 1. Okay, so I can change modes. Okay, but I can't change to double. And someone asked for Dance With Me. Where are you at? There it is. Huh. Just in time. Miss Celeste step like a dummy for no reason. No reason at all. So you said this is an easier one? Oh, we're back to... resetting the menu when you change modes. That's cool. I love that. It's my favorite thing. So you think this is an easier one? You know, I was thinking I Love You was... I mean, it was easy, but as a one, I don't know. Like, if I'd never played before, it's not the easiest I've ever seen, for sure. You're right, this does feel easier. Look at that, full perfect combo. On pump, who cares? Oh yeah, one more. We were talking about bars earlier, so I'm gonna play a song about not bars. Whatever that means. All right.
Yeah, I know you can.
All right, let me get caught up with the chat here. Adrian, you said you love that song. You love rock. Oh, I think we're still talking about Crash. Yeah, I mean, I love rock just fine, but I don't know. That song just sounds off to me. It's just, I don't know. It has to do with the vocal performance more than anything. He just sounds like he's kind of like he's off key a little bit and just kind of like it's just sloppy. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it that much. Maybe if somebody else was singing it, I might like it a little more. Like the backing track on it is fine. But yeah, not one of my favorites. And I happen to know that one pretty well only because, you know, it's Mr. Brian. So, like, that was the funny joke all the time. It's like, hey, Brian, it's your song. And it's like, I don't really like this song, but okay. Yes, my name's Brian, but, you know, whatever. Rave Racer, welcome aboard. Let's see. When you have people over to play Premiere 2, it felt more like a 2 or a 3. Yeah. Rave Racer, your Premiere 2 was your first Pump It Up experience? Yeah, cool. Like I was saying before you got here, Premiere 1 was my very first Pump experience, but but Exceed 2 is where I started, like, playing in earnest. It's party time. Yeah, that's gone. Although, is it still in the test? Let's find out. Sound test. As I recall, it was early in the list, so I think it's gone.
Here's the party.
So many.
Hit me! It's party time!
Oh, I lied. There it is.
Party time!
It's party time. Okay, that's
party
great.
Time.
Thanks. And so many fucking gunshots because Pump It Up. Back when extra stages were a thing, yep. Arcade Zone used to go to every weekend had an exclusive Pump Zone. 5 or 6 Premiere 2 cabinets. Nice. Nice. It's been a while since I've been to an arcade. Like back in the day, you know, like the early 2000s, so like 2001, 2002. You know, I've never been... I'm trying to think, have I been to a place with multiple pump cabinets? I'm not sure that I have, other than other than the couple times that I've been to, like, pump tournaments. But I have been to some places that have multiple DDR cabinets. In fact, the place that I bought my classic DDR cabinet from, they had, gosh, I think like 6 of them just lined up along the wall. And when I went to go, when I went to buy mine, actually, you know, I went there and we went to that wall of DDR machines and the guy was like, which one do you want? And I was like, I'll take this one. And he's like, cool. And he just unplugged it and, you know, helped me push it out to the truck. I got some real weird looks from people. They're like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm buying this. And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah. But that was 2003, so that was like really early to be like buying a machine for personal use. Nowadays, it's like I know more people that own DDR and pump machines in their house than I do DDR and pump machines around me that I could go play publicly. So, you know, it is what it is. Hey, DDR Games. Okay, so you have a question. What state do I live so that one day you can have a house with a big basement? I'm in Indiana, but like Indiana does not have any like exclusive rights to basements. I'm sure you can get basements in other places, but the cost of living in Indiana is pretty low, and frankly, that's probably Indiana's best feature. So there you have it. But yeah, you can get you can get basements in other places. Again, this is another story that I've probably told on stream before. I used to live one neighborhood over, so you know, like maybe half a mile from where this house is, and I wanted to get a DDR machine and I wanted to get a pool table because I really liked both of those things at the time. So this would have been like in 2002, and so started looking for a house in like April of 2002, and had a realtor show me, you know, a couple of houses a month, and it wasn't until November that he showed me this house, and I was like, this is it. Because along the way, it was I thought about a bunch of different things. Initially, I just needed more space because the house that I was in was a small little 3-bedroom house. You know, 3-bedroom, two bath. Yeah, I think it was 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, ranch house, like 1,200 square feet. Not super big. It was fine. Like, it was fine to live in, but there wasn't a lot of space to like for anything extra. So I decided, you know, I wanted to get a little bit bigger house so I'd have a place to put a pool table and a DDR machine. The pool table in particular takes up a lot of space because it's a very large thing. Plus, you have to have a lot of space around it, you know, to be able to like pull the stick back, pull the cue back, because it, you know, otherwise you'll bump into a wall or whatever. So it became pretty clear to me fairly early in the search that I was going to need like a separate room or another room for it, and but not like a bedroom, because most bedrooms are a little bit too small to put a pool table in and be able to use it. And then I started, and then as I thought about the DDR machine, I went again from just needing some space for it, and then I thought to myself, you know, I don't really want to have it like in my living area. I don't want to see it all the time. Like, I don't want to have it in my living room, for instance, you know. And so I was like, okay. Again, I thought about a bedroom, which it would work in a bedroom, but it didn't. You know, between the pool table and the DDR machine, you know, I wasn't gonna like burn 2 bedrooms doing that, even if that was gonna work. And then I thought, you know, well, maybe I could do like a loft, you know, like an upstairs loft or something like that area that might work. But then I thought about it. I was like, oh no, you know, the DDR is like a 1,000-pound machine that you jump on. I don't know how that'll do on a second level, ? And so then it became like, oh, I think I'm gonna need a basement. And so then I started, you know, asking the realtor. It's like, show me houses with basements, and he kept showing them to me. But it became a matter of like I looked at a lot of basements, but the problem was the ceiling was going to be too low, or the stairs were too narrow, and I wasn't sure how I was going to get a machine down there. And so what ended up happening was I learned that walkout basements are a thing, where like the front half of the basement is, you know, fully underground, but the back half has a door that goes to the outside, and that's how it is here. So there's a patio door that you can bring machines into. So rather than bring things down the stairs, we bring it down the hill on the side of the house, and then roll it in through the back door, and that's how it went. And eventually saw this house, and here I am. So, but yeah. So I know there are places where you cannot have basements usually because of water, but like I was saying, Indiana is not exclusive. Like there are other places that you can get basements too. Maybe not everywhere, but definitely other places. So you were in Florida last week and went to Dave & Buster's. You saw a white DDR cabinet. So excited. So your mom told you had 30 minutes in there. Oh, that's too bad. Yeah, I can remember back in the day, you know, having to wait like 45 minutes between games because there were so many people waiting to play. But we were all friends, so we just hung out and would wait. You only had one time to play on it. Well, I'm glad you at least got one time. I have a great basement size for the machine. You know, it's kind of funny. Obviously, you can't really see it in this shot here. But, well, I could turn the camera a little bit. Hold on. We'll now, there's a light in the way. Oh, yeah, I guess you can't really see it through the light. Never mind. I was going to show you the DDR machine, but the reality is the pump machine is basically the same height, so I can tell you what I was going to tell you anyway. So when I bought this house, though, the basement was unfinished. So there was no ceiling, and there was no ceiling. There were the walls were either concrete or insulation. The floor was concrete. But I had a company finish the walls and the ceiling, and then I came back with friends and did like the flooring and the lighting and the bar and the bathroom and all that other stuff. But when the company came to do the walls and the ceiling, they were like they were going to put this drop ceiling in, and it was like 8 feet from the concrete floor to the bottom of the floor joists for the main level. And I told them, and so when they were going to put the drop ceiling in, that drops it down from the bottom of the floor joists. And I told them, I said, okay, well, you can drop it this much, basically. And I pointed at the DDR machine, and you know where the top of it was. And they looked at it and they're like, they kind of made a face and they're like, that's about 4 inches. And I was like, uh-huh. And he's like, we usually drop it a foot. And I'm like, okay, can you do it? And he's like, yeah, I guess. And I'm like, all right, well, there you go. So they lowered the ceiling only as much as they like the bare minimum, basically. So that's the height, and it's been good for almost every game. There's some close calls. 2DX is very close, and I can't put the marquee on it. Obviously, DDR and pump, they both have like, an inch or two to the top from the top to the ceiling. And if you see here, there's this bulkhead that runs the full length of the basement. That this does drop an extra foot from the ceiling. Inside of here is a steel beam that holds the house up, so it's kind of necessary. But yeah, they built this bulkhead around it to just kind of make it look nicer. But this height is quite low. Like obviously, if I'm standing on the pump stage underneath this bulkhead, and if I stand on my tippy toes, yeah, I can brush my hair on the bulkhead. But so that's real low. Only a few games fit under here. But so that's a thing. And then what else? The new DDR cabinet, the DDRX cabinet, it literally, actually on the old carpet, before I replaced the carpet with the arcade carpet, the top of the marquee of that machine was pushing up on the ceiling tile just a little bit. The new carpet, since it doesn't have a pad, and it's just glued directly down to the concrete, it's a little bit lower. So there's maybe an eighth of an inch between the top of the DDRX marquee and the ceiling now. So it's not pushing up the tile anymore. But that's only because I took the wheels off the cabinet to make it as low as possible. With the wheels on, it's too tall. But yeah. So that's one reason, actually. When I was I really wanted the DDRX cabinet, but at the time I was thinking about getting either a pump CX or I would love to have an LX. I think the LX is awesome. But as it turns out, both the CX and the LX especially, are too tall. They're taller than the ceiling is in here. The CX Japanese one has a slightly shorter marquee area that will fit under here, but the Korean one is too tall, and the LX is just too tall all around. So I'm kind of boned on that. But anyway, when you rent an apartment, you want it to be first floor to put pump it up pads. Well, good luck. I've known people. I've known people who have had arcade machines, even dance machines in apartments. Yeah, I mean, you can get away with it on the first floor, probably. Obviously, you got to keep it kind of quiet. But on a second level, no way. No way. Kieran, you thought you were able to adjust the marquee on the old DDR cabs? No, there's no real adjustment on them. I have seen some people. There's a well, you can see on pump. There's these posts in the middle that lift the marquee up off the top of the cabinet. DDR has something similar, except instead of 3 round posts, it's 2 square posts. But they're not adjustable. Like, it's not a height adjustment there. But I have known people who have taken that whole bracket out and just chucked the marquee directly on top of the cabinet, and that does save you 3 or 4 inches. So, like, if you're in a real tight spot, I guess you can do that. But like I said, that's not an adjustment. That is the removal of a part. Do I know that 2 years ago the guitarist from Van Halen died? Yeah, I think I remember that. What does that have to do with anything, though? Question mark? I mean, what does that have to do with anything that we're talking about now? I'm not seeing the connection. But Anyway, I'm gonna start another game. If you all have
Hit me.
any requests, go ahead and drop them in the chat. I'll try and keep an eye over there. Let's play some doubles.
Say baby now, say baby now, 영원히는 나. It's just for you.
말하면 너를 사랑하고 있다는 말이야. 말하면 너를 사랑하고 있다는 말이야. 하지만 나는 말할 수 없단 얘기야. 하루가 또 지나도 난 항상 제자리에. 너 뒤에서 항상 너를 쳐다봐. 너 내 앞에서 항상 땅을 쳐다봐. 널 알지 못해 어색하게 애써 외면을 했던 걸. 우연히 스쳐 지날 때마다 서로 반갑게 지나쳐갈 때마다 널 알지 못해 너무나 잘 들렸던 걸 말이야. 그 모든 순간들은 결코 우연들이 아니었어. 사랑의 크기만큼이나 두려워하는 나의 바보 같은 모습. 말하자면 너를 사랑하고 있다는 말이야. 하지만 나는 말할 수 없단 얘기야. 하루가 또 지나도 난 항상 제자리에.
Yeah, I know you can. Say run away, run. I wanna dance with you.
화려한 몸짓 속에 감춘 나의 잦은 눈빛.
How come when I see you 쓴 사랑의 눈물 흘려와 오는 미모지의 모든 걸 갖고 있어 왜 너 두 손 단단히 모아기도 해줄 테니 hello hello Lord have mercy.
어지러운 조명 사이로 처음 나를 본 순간 너무 아름다운 모습에 그만 빠져버렸지. 기계 베인 나의 가슴이 나를 어지럽게 쓰러질 듯 가는 나를 안고 싶었지. I said why 나의 여인아. I said why 내 공연이나. I said why 화려한 몸짓 속에 감춘 나의 잦은 눈빛이 마음에 내게 보일까.
M.O. to the E 주자와의 관계 눈물의 깊이에 주머니 둘 사랑의 시계 기재서 페이지를 열때 펼때 두 번째 네 앞에 나네 사랑의 포즈를 마지막 한 조각 걸어놔.
나의 여인아.
M.O. to the E
내 슬픈 여인아.
CB Max Mathematic BT Yo M.O. to the E
내 슬픈
CB Max Mathematic BT
I saw a request for Runaway, and I saw a request for Why, which I just played by coincidence. So Run Away. I wish I knew where anything was. At least they're in English now, so that's helpful. I didn't see any other requests, so I just picked one. Anyway, let me check up on the chat here. DDR Games asks, can you fit a Dance Rush cabinet in my basement? I'm not sure. I think so. According to the manual, yes. But the manual was slightly unclear to me. It had a picture, it had a diagram of the whole cabinet, right? And then there was a scale, and it was like, the cabinet is this many millimeters tall. And yes, it's in millimeters, because of course it is. That number would fit in here. However, then there was a extra space at the top that was marked off that said 100 millimeters. That was above the top of the marquee. It wasn't clear to me what that meant. Whether that meant that 10 millimeters that I wasn't sure what that meant. Whether the 10 millimeters meant that you had to have, that they were just like suggesting you have that much, or sorry, not 10, 100 millimeters, so 10 centimeters, that they were suggesting that you have that much space above the cabinet top, above the marquee top. I don't. I have maybe half that. But I'm guessing that means that 100 millimeters is the amount that when you like crank the levelers, the cabinet could raise up that much, to get off the wheels. If that's the case, I need to know what the minimum amount is to get up off the wheels. Some of the cabinets, so a lot of the cabinets are not are still sitting on the wheels. Like this cabinet, for instance, the stage is on the levelers. Like I've lowered the levelers to lift the wheels off the floor, so that so that it won't slide around and it's nice and stable. The cabinet, I have not done that. It is still sitting on the wheels. I could push it. I'm not going to, because I'm real particular about like where it is in relation to the stage, and I don't feel like resetting it if I move it. But I assure you that if I were to just like push on the cabinet, it would roll back on its wheels. Now, like I was saying, the new DDR, the DDR-X cabinet, I had to remove the wheels in order to get it to go about 2 inches lower or so. Don't you love how I'm just mixing like measurements and measurement systems here? But anyway, I had to take the wheels off of it to get it to go down about 2 or 3 more inches in order to get it under the ceiling at all. Some of the cabinets, however, you have to raise the levelers or things don't fit. Guitar Freaks is a good example. If you don't lower the levelers and bring it up off the wheels, the pedals, the foot pedal units, the effector pedals, the holes for the screws on it don't line up. So you have to raise the cabinet up on its feet by an inch or so in order for the screws to line up for you to be able to attach the pedals correctly. So, all that being said, with Dance Rush, I've played on them several times, but I haven't really looked at the cabinet very carefully to see how it's assembled. So I don't know if the stage part, if it just sits flat on the ground or if it has levelers for it. I think it just sits flat on the ground though. But then I'm not sure if the cabinet part, in order to mate up to the stage, needs to be a certain height. If it doesn't really matter, then I think the answer is yes, it should be fine. I should be able to get a Dance Rush cabinet in here, and I would love to if I ever had the opportunity. Now, the reality is I don't really have any space for it, so it's probably not going to happen, but, whatever. That being said, if you have to raise the cabinet a significant amount in order for it to, properly mate up with the stage, I could be in trouble. So I don't know. What I really need to do is take a tape measure to round 1 the next time I go and just, measure how tall the thing is, and then I'll know for sure, But as it stands right now, it's a definite maybe is the answer to that question. Kieran says the manual says don't have it near radios or televisions. Haven't heard of investment in anyone's signals. I assume you're talking about the DDR manual. I have a feeling that is probably related to its FCC classification. It's been a while since I've thought about this, but so the FCC in the United States, the Federal Communications Commission, regulates radio, television frequencies, and cell phones, all kinds of stuff like that. And they have 2 classifications for electronic devices. There's Class A and Class B, and I believe Class B is the more strict class that is intended for home electronics. So your phone or your portable radio or your TV or whatever. Those are all I believe classified under Class B, which means that they are not allowed to cause any interference with other radio signals around. Class A, I believe, is more loose, but it's intended for commercial environments. So a Class A device may cause some kinds of interference. And so if I had to take a guess, DDR either couldn't or decided not to get Class B licensure or classification because it didn't need it, because it's intended as a commercial product and not a home residential personal product. So they probably have to put in the manual that hey, this might cause some interference. Now whether it actually does or doesn't, who knows? But I would imagine, without looking, that would be my guess as to why that is in the manual. Let's see. DDR-X2 for PS2. Yeah, that is a rare one. If you actually find it, expect to pay at least new pricing for a used one, even though it's a 12-year-old game now or whatever. But probably more. Yeah, I guess they just didn't make very many of those, so it's rare to see them. Yeah, in the future, I played through all of the US DDR PlayStation and PlayStation 2 releases on the cabinet earlier, like a year ago or so, and then I played all of the Wii DDR releases, both US and Japan. I don't remember if I played the European ones, the PAL versions. I don't think I did, but only because they were basically identical to the US ones, I think. So either I did do it and I forgot, or I didn't do it because there wasn't really any point to it. But in the future, I intend to go back and play all of the PAL and Japanese PlayStation and PlayStation 2 releases of DDR, but that'll be something for future Brian to do. I'm skipping through a little bit because there's some conversation here that doesn't really require my input. da 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 da. I'm looking to see if there are any other questions or if there are more requests for my next set. Wow, I'm like halfway through my normal like 3-hour time block, and what have I played, like 3 games, maybe 2, or maybe 4. Seems like I'm doing a lot of talking on this one, which is fine. I mean, it's fine with me. I hope it's fine with you. You're still here, so I guess it is. DDR, want to get good at DDR, but there's no DDR in your area. I've heard good things about the LTEC pads. I have not played on one, but I've not. I've heard nice things. And yes, Rave Racer, Pump It Up is very very popular in Latin America. So DDR games, I think I answered this question sort of, but I'll address it real quick. An HD pump in my basement. The only one that would fit would be a Japanese CX. That's the only. So like in HD, you got CX, TX, and LX. TX and LX are both too tall. CX, the Japanese one, would fit height-wise. The Korean one, my understanding is it would not. So that's my option. Although the Japanese CX, so pump in Japan was already quite rare, and they've gotten rid of it. So I think all of the cabinets that were there have kind of made their way out already. So the chances of me finding one at this point are fairly low. So, oh well. My only other option would perhaps be an FX cabinet. The FX cabinet has a widescreen monitor, but it wasn't HD. But you could easily replace it with another monitor and not radically change the cabinet. Now, I know people that bolt, HD monitors onto these style cabinets. And that's all well and good. It's not something that I'm going to do. Like I was saying before, I kind of treat these like a preservationist, so I try to keep them as original as I can. So if the monitor was a CRT, I'm going to keep a CRT in there. If the original monitor was an LCD, then okay, we'll talk. But HD pump. Really, the only one that requires it is XX, so that's the only game that I'm missing, that I can't really play at home. And at this point, I've just kind of resigned myself to it. It's fine. I mean, I can play First Dance Stage all the way up to Prime 2. That's a heck of a lot of content. Like, is XX a good game? Yeah, I like it just fine, and I play it when I go to the arcade, but I'm kind of just resigned myself to not having that one at home. And that's okay. You were reading the... So, Adrian, you agree with me, but really like the Chris Brown song called Say Goodbye. I'm not sure what song that is, but okay, cool. And Kieran, you said you were reading the manual the other day and found that interesting. Yeah. Well, that's... As far as I know, that would be my guess as to why that was there. Now we're talking about DDR, Rave Racer. Oh, Barcade. There's a Barcade with Dance Maniacs. Nice. It's Hard to find Dance Maniacs in the wild these days. Glitch would like to own legit copies of X and X2 someday. Good luck. Okay, hey, I see some requests here. So let me open up a little notepad. I see a request for Slam and Will-o'-the-Wisp. Okay, so hard songs. Fun, alright. I don't promise that I will play them on the hardest difficulty. Yeah, Adrian, that's exactly what I was saying. I don't have Double X. I only have Prime 2. Did I misspeak? If I did, I'm sorry. But yeah, like, Double X is the only one I cannot play on this cabinet. So I would need a cabinet with an HD monitor. And oh well. I've resigned myself that that's just not going to happen. So, unless something radical changes. But, DDR games, how do people import stuff from Japan or buy stuff from Japan? So if you're talking about like small stuff, there are things called deputy services that will either bid on auctions in Japan or purchase things from Japanese stores on your behalf, and then they will receive delivery of that item for a fee, of course, and then ship it to you in your home country, wherever that is. So that's how I get things like parts, some upgrade kits, collectible stuff like posters and marquees, some software for, well, I said upgrade kits already, so stuff like that. As far as bigger stuff like full-on arcade cabinets, most of mine were already in my country, in the United States. So I purchased them from somebody who was selling it either locally or on eBay or on, I guess, Facebook. Have I bought one off Facebook? I don't think I have, actually, but like that would be an option. I've gotten some from like Craigslist. So that happens. And then there are also some people stateside who their whole business is importing large things. So, like arcade cabinets. So you can work with them. For instance, my DDRX cabinet came from a place called Game Saru over in Nevada. And basically I just contacted David over there and was like, hey, I would like to get one of these. And he was like, okay, can you be patient? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Because it took like, from the time I think I said I would like to do it to the time I actually received it, I think was a good 6 months or something like that. So he made all the arrangements to, locate one in Japan, get it put into a container with, dozens of other machines that he was getting for other people or himself, have it, shipped over here on a boat, and then once it arrives in his warehouse, shipped to me. So again, I pay him a fee for that, obviously. But yeah, that's how you would get a cabinet directly from Japan. Trying to do it by yourself would be pretty difficult. I imagine I'm not saying it's impossible, but those would be contacts that you would have to have yourself in Japan, which I do not. And then also trying to arrange shipping for something as large as an arcade game is not at all easy. Most of the regular shippers, like FedEx, UPS, DHL, all of those, like they generally max out at about 70 pounds. Not to mention, some dimensional size that, once they get past that, they're just not even going to touch it. So you're talking about freight shipping it. And doing a single item would cost probably an astronomical amount of money. And that's why those importers, will collect, many orders and then get all of them together in Japan loaded into one shipping container, because the cost of shipping a container, regardless of how many things are in it, basically as much as you can possibly fit in it, is much, much lower than trying to ship probably any one thing inside that container. So it definitely is, advantageous to work with somebody whose business it is to do just that, to make all the arrangements for you. Whatever they charge you is probably going to be less money and certainly less effort than trying to do it yourself. So that's the brief 3-minute, probably longer than 3-minute rundown on how that works. There you go. How do you like that? Glitch says, your cabin's far from a museum piece. I'm cold just messing around with mine. Hanging LCDs on the front and putting holes in the side for mounting card readers. Yeah, I mean, I ain't gonna fault you for that. If it's your machine, you can do whatever you want with it. It's just me personally, I try to keep them as close to factory as I possibly can. So it's just personal preference. I'm not gonna... No judgment from me. Like I said, if it's yours, you do what you want. How did I contact GameSario? I think I contacted him on Facebook, actually, like through Facebook Messenger. I think he has a website. You can email him. So he's not hard to get a hold of. In fact, he also has a YouTube channel, and whenever they get container shipments in, he does a video of him like crawling through the container, looking at whatever's in there, just kind of doing a quick inventory and showing it. So it's good that you don't see people break it. Thought it's hard. Break what? I didn't follow that. But anyway, let's do another one.
Hit me.
I think there were 3 requests up, so break the rate machine. I don't know what rate machines you're talking about. I'm sorry if I missed something there. Oh, the rare machines. Okay, yes. Okay. Yeah, everything's going well so far. Been doing a lot of chit chat. Haven't played a ton, but that's okay. Still fun. Oh dear Lord. Okay, so I'm not gonna pass a 10. That's just not gonna happen. Well, but I can't change it, right? Because you can't switch out of double apparently. So, well, fuck it. Here we go. Time to die.
Hey, why don't you just get up and dance, man?
Rip. Yeah, I know you didn't ask to play it on double, but you know, I was in double, so it happened. All right, well,
Hit me.
let's go back to regular. So what is it as a... It's a 6 as an easy? Holy balls. What about on hard? A 9. Yeah, that's gonna be... I'm sure that's too hard for me, isn't it? Let's find out. What's the worst thing that can happen? I'll just fail, right? So, I'm pretty sure. Like, a modern 9 I could do, but like, this scale 9 I think is different, which is... Well, I wouldn't have stage braked it. I'm like a half count behind this whole thing, I think.
The product of a tortured brain, sucking the hallucinatory acid in the system.
Son of a bitch. I like that game over screen though, that's pretty slick. Alright. Phew. Give me a second to catch my breath. Should I try it on easy? Have I broken a dance pad before? Me personally, no. I have not. I've come across many that were already broken.
Hit me.
But breaking it myself is not something that I've done. Alright. Can I do it as a 6 easy? Question mark. Okay, this is doable. Yes, I missed one.
Have we seen the actual reality of a monstrous crime? Or merely an illusion, the product of a tortured brain? Sucking the hallucinatory acid into the system.
A little late.
Yeah, I know you can.
Put their foot through the pad. I assume you mean like the actual like one of the panels, right? The plastic or acrylic or hopefully Lexan. Yeah, I've seen those crack. The official ones, it's hard to do. I've seen a lot of third-party ones that are kind of cheap that break much more easily, though. Yeah, I agree with you, Asal, that like playing real rough is just a lot of it's a lot of excess. It's a lot of wasted energy. So if you want to actually do better, you learn not to play that hard anyway. So you're not likely to wreck it too badly. At least, hopefully. Oops, well, I guess I'm playing this now, because I didn't make it through. So here's a good example. I feel about this song about the way I do about Crash. Like, the song's fine, but that vocal is just like semi-melodic screaming. It's not pleasant. That's all I'm getting at. Cheers from Argentina! Yay! Welcome! Hello! I have at least one other regular viewer that's from Argentina, although I haven't seen him tonight.
자연스러운 웃으며 추억하겠지 바라바라바라 내 맘 전에 너의 날이 붙잡기 전에 짠짠짠짠짠짠짠짠짠짠짠짠짠 나를 버리고 다른 남자를 만나서 행복하게 지내길 바래
I looked away for the slowdown. Probably wasn't a good idea.
Yeah, I know you can.
Oh yes, Adrian, I'm familiar with dignity. Not that I can pass it, but I'm aware of it. And it's a bitch.
Sometimes provides
Oh man,
Hey, why don't you just get up and dance, man?
that was a spin that I didn't do, and it hurt me. It cost me. I'll try it again later. Yeah, V, not V. DDR games, machines in your area, only for anime conventions for 3 days each year. Which convention? Question mark. I was just at a convention this past weekend. I was at Colossal Con East, and they had DDR there. But, ugh.
hit me.
Oh yeah, division mode, which we looked at a little bit in the Rebirth stream. This was like you can make it up. You can raise or lower the difficulty by stepping on. Yikers. Anime Blues Call.
Oh God. Say baby no. Say ain't no time for handsy.
So let's do the hard stuff and pretend we can lower the difficulty. That's the goal, right? Thank goodness.
Okay, it's a groove.
Play it with 4x instead. I made it. It's okay. Flashing colors. What doesn't contain flashing colors? I'm a big fan of, oops, I didn't do that right. I'm a big fan of flashing lights and colors, so I'm good for it. I'm here for it. I meant to hit that W and I just didn't. Maybe I can this next go around. Is he gonna give me another go around? Yeah, there we go.
I know you can.
All right. So I don't know about Pump It Up in Malaysia. I mean, I imagine that it's popular there, but I haven't looked like personally at it. So, and you know, the truth is, I don't actually watch that many live streams. Sometimes, but no, yeah. I stream myself, but I don't watch other people very often. I do sometimes, though, especially friends. Like if one of you is like, "Hey, I'm going to do a stream on blah," then you know, if I have an opportunity to, if I'm like available, I will. But watching streams on a regular basis is not really something that I do much of. So nope, I'm not familiar with them specifically, but. I'm sure it's cool. I really don't. I mean, so you know, I've been playing DDR since the end of 2000, and Pump since like 05-ish. So I've been playing a really long time, and I was big into. Well, obviously, like streaming wasn't really a thing back then, but you know, I was big into trying to see what other communities were doing, and also. You know, just hanging out with people like locally and doing all that kind of stuff. But in the last 10 years or so, you know, through the 2010s and stuff like that, like it really tapered off quite a lot. There aren't actually very many machines publicly available near me anymore. There's a couple, but very few. I feel like, so the community really kind of dried up. It feels like it's making a small comeback here in the last couple of years. But, well, no. Here in the last last couple of years includes COVID, and of course nothing was making a comeback. If you survived it, you were doing well, right? So, I mean, I'm hoping that it'll come back, and, you know, I'm definitely excited if it does, but so far it's been pretty, you know, pretty baseline, so, I don't know. Hopefully we'll get there. When am I going to change the Pump stage to a Step Maniac stage? Yeah, not going to happen. I mean, I was already I've said this twice now on this stream. You know, I tend to be a preservationist, so I try to keep the machines as stock factory as I can, and that has nothing to do with whether I think it's better or not. So, like, for instance, the example I gave, you know, like modern pump stages, the bracketless ones that are all, you know, smooth and level, I think they're fantastic. And I think they're a great improvement over, you know, the old style corner bracket stage with the sunken panels. But this is what came with this cabinet, so I will maintain it as it was, regardless of my personal preference. Same thing with DDR. DDR uses those domed truss head screws, which I think are kind of stupid, actually. But that's what Konami decided that they wanted to use, so I'll keep using the damn things. So, would I replace this stage with an SMX stage? No. In short answer, no. Would I get a Step Maniacs cabinet? Maybe. Although, probably also no. There's no... I mean, so, if I had no cabinet right now, would I consider Step Maniacs? Yes, probably I would. But I do have 3 dance cabinets already, and there's a lot of, you know, nostalgia behind the 3 that I have. And given that, you know, I think I played Step Maniacs for my 3rd time over the weekend at Colossal Con East, there is no nostalgia there for me. Like, it is basically a new game. So, that's not saying, I'm not saying that I dislike it. It's fine. It's just that I don't have history with it that makes me, you know, excited about it the way I do, you know, DDR and Pump. So, the chances of me getting, I mean, if I wanted to get Step Maniacs, I would have to get rid of something just to make room for it. So, the chances of that happening are pretty low, I would say. But But that's cool though that they actually offer support getting it connected to a a non-Step Maniacs cabinet. So I mean I think the Step Maniacs project is cool. I like what what Kyle and the team is doing with it. I think it's great. I'm glad it exists. It's just not. It doesn't hold any particular place in my heart. And given my space constraints, it's probably not going to anytime soon, if ever. And Shrimpo, I talked about getting a new cab. The only thing that I could do would be a Japanese CX cabinet, and I think that's because of the height of my ceiling. And I think that ship has pretty much sailed. So I think I'm stuck with this guy for the long haul, and that's fine. I get to play the bracketless pads when I go to round 1, and I enjoy it there, and that's good enough for me. Oh, it's Step Maniacs? Oh, okay. Yeah, it wouldn't fit. It wouldn't fit just because I don't have space. I think height-wise it would fit just fine, though. Rave Racer, yeah. So, this is a so this was intended to be a request stream. So you're welcome to ask me to play whatever on this stream because it's that was the idea. But it seems like I'm talking more than anything, which is fine. But anyway, what I was gonna say is, yeah, I definitely don't make any. I won't make any promises to playing anything on any particular difficulty, and if I fail it, I fail it, and I really don't care. Like, on the modern scale, I'm good for about a 13 or a 14, which is, okay, I guess. I mean, obviously, I know lots of people who are way better than I am. That's about as much as I care to get good at. I stopped trying to get any better a long time ago. And, yeah, I mean, I'm happy with that. I'm just having a good time playing a game I enjoy. So, anyway. Pump Junior. You mean Pump Jump? Yeah. I would like to get a chance to play on that, but I definitely don't want one. Anyway, I am gonna take a quick break. Oh, Pump Junior is the mini hand cap. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've seen those. Those are cute. I mean, I don't care to play Pump or DDR with my hands. The whole fun of it for me is getting to stand up and move around. So, but yeah, the little mini cabs they're cute. Anyway, I am going to take a quick break because I realize I'm quite far into my normal 3-hour block, and I was going to play Prex 2 and I haven't done it yet. So I'm going to take a quick break, switch games, grab a new drink and all that. So I'm going to do that, and I will be back in just a couple of minutes. What do I drink in break? Well, I don't know. We'll see what I come back with, because it's not like I'm going to finish it during the break. Anyway, I'll see y'all back in just a couple minutes.
Another East Coast track.
Alright, I am back. I ended up with Squirt. It's a grapefruit soda. There was a bottle of it over here. It was convenient, so I poured myself some. Alright. So, we got Prex 2 now, which is mostly the same. Let me change this to be not 5 credits, because that's a pain in the butt. Wrong screen. How about coin option? I see we've gone back to the standard flat Andamira logo. No more shiny. Oh, and the solid, what do you call, arrow receptor is gone. We're back to the standard one. Alright. A Beat Mania Mini. You know, I actually had one of those a long time ago. It's actually Bit Decay has it now. It didn't go directly from me to him. It went through somebody else in the middle. Actually, I think it went through 2 people in the middle between me and him. But yeah, I used to have one, but I don't anymore. I'm not a big 5-key fan. I just don't love it. It's not my thing. So I got it back then because like an opportunity came up and I was able to get one close by. I think it was up in Michigan, so I was able to just drive up and get it. in like a minivan because it was, you know, it's small. And I forget how much I paid for it, but it was low. Like, it was a few $100s. But I had it for a while, and I didn't really care for it that much. So God, what did I do? Did I sell it or trade it? I forget, because it went to Great Escape in Bloomington. I think that's where where it went first. And then, but I don't remember if I sold it to them or if I traded it to them for something. And then Tim ended up getting it from them, and then BitDecay got it from him. So, like I said, it's been through a couple of people before me, or between me and BitDecay. Yeah, I think I got it as Core Remix. I don't remember if I upgraded it to the final or if that happened later. I thought I did it because I thought I remember playing the final here, but maybe I'm wrong. It doesn't really matter. It's just not... The big thing about 5 Key to me is, like, the game itself is just so primitive because of the hardware that it's on. And I don't think it sounds very good, personally. Like, the sound quality of it is... and it doesn't, not just the mini cabinet, but the regular cabinet. Everyone I've ever played on, it sounds real muffly and just not good. It's just like all mid-range and no high and kind of dead bass. So, it's just not my, it's not my cup of tea, personally. But the final sound quality was worse than prior releases. I mean, you know, it's like DDR Extreme all over again, right? Man, that game sounds like garbage compared to some of the earlier ones. But, yeah. I don't know. It's just not my thing. So, alright, if anybody has, any requests for, the Prex 2, go ahead and drop it in the chat. Otherwise, I'm just gonna play some stuff, I guess. Hey, they remembered to change the title in the background again. Oh, I guess I skipped it. I didn't mean to skip it, but oh well. Oh, hey, we're into a more modern menu system where I can change between any mode, which means it's probably this. Yay, the modern speed mod code. Hooray, I'm so happy. I'm not crazy about that slightly transparent head of the hold notes though. fine, but it's weird to read. I'm not used to having that. So wow, look at that result screen. That's wow, that is bright as fuck. That's a lot of colors happening right there. Does it have conga? Is this too early for conga? I feel like it is. I feel like conga is going to be either Premiere 3 or Exceed. Yeah, I don't see it. So I'm gonna go with no on that. I see some more requests. Let me take a look here in a minute. Okay, I see Caution, Black Cat. Caution, I think, is in here. Pretty sure. Yeah, there it is. Classic. Huh, so I didn't see Come By Me or Black Cat. I'll look again. The game is over. Let me look at a song list. Let's see. We're in Prex 2. So Come to Me, not in here. Black Cat also not here. So that's why I'm not finding those. Perio is here. So let me go find that. I apparently took the wrong way. There you are. All right. Bit Decay's heading out. All right, have a good night. Thanks for stopping by. DDR Games asks, do I use the bars sometimes? The answer is no. No, I never use the bar, except maybe for like a trick or a stunt, but I haven't done that kind of stuff in years, so the short answer is no. Except to maybe like lean on between sets, right? Or between songs. But no, I don't use the bar. I mean, I guess I have grabbed it when I've lost my balance occasionally, but otherwise, no. I actually generally do worse with it. I've tried back in the past. And I also just personally don't find it fun, so I just don't do it. You're fine, DDR Games. You're not bothering me at all. I mean, that's what the chat is for chatting. And that's the whole reason I stream, is to have people to talk to. I mean, I could just play these games by myself, but that's kind of boring. But, you have to understand, too, I've been playing DDR, specifically DDR, but also Pump. But I've been playing DDR since like the era when you would get disqualified from a tournament for using the bar. So like it's not something that I ever tried to learn, really. Because not only was it not a thing that people did back then, it was strongly discouraged. and flat out against the rules in most tournaments in the early days. Obviously, it's not that way anymore, but like I had already developed the technique that I use, so it's like, so I just keep doing it. That's fucking mean. That last step was like over here and then this one. I mean, it's doable, but gross. Gross, gross. So yeah, I was definitely born before DDR. I was a college graduate by the time DDR came out, even in Japan in '98. I was already out of college. I was like 23, 24, probably 24, I think, by the time it came out, or something like that. Is that right? Yeah, 23. 23. Now, I think I was 20. I think I was 25 by the time I actually played in late 2000. But yeah, I'm an old man, guys. As far as it going in and out of style, I mean, depending on who you ask, it never went out of style. Depending on who you ask, it was never in style. I don't really care. Like, I played it, I enjoyed it, I just keep playing it. It's fun. Whether it's in style or not in style, doesn't really matter to me. Just having a good time. And, you know, I've had the good fortune to get to play with and meet with tons of people that are also interested in the game and enjoy it over the years. And I mean, that's what it's really about for me, is just like, all the people that I've been able to, you know, share these experiences with. Right now that's on stream, and that's great. You know, back in the early to mid 2000s, you know, that was mostly in person. It kind of took a lull, you know, in the 2010s, but you know, it's good to be back. I don't know. I mean, I never went away completely, but I definitely played a lot less for a while. And I still don't play as much as I used to back in the, you know, back in the heyday, if you will, but I play a lot more than I was for a long time nowadays, which is great. Do I live in a nice area where there's less crime? Yeah, I guess. It's pretty quiet where I live. Now, that being said, there is not a public DDR machine closer than about 20 minutes from me, 25 minutes from me, so, you know, there's that, but yeah, that sucks. I'm sorry that you don't live in a place where you're comfortable, like, going out and you know, just hanging out, whatever you're doing. I fortunately have never really felt that way, but I mean, that being said, both of the malls that I've played, both of the local malls that I've played DDR with most recently, one being about half an hour from my house and the other being about an hour from my house, both of those have had shootings in the mall in the last few years. It's very rare, so like, it happens. So I mean, it's hard to say. Like, I'm fortunately not in an area where I'm worried about it constantly. And at the end of the day, I feel like you almost can't. Like, if you're just worrying about that all the time, then you'll never get to do anything. Obviously, be safe. Like, you know, take reasonable precautions and all that kind of stuff. But you know, living your whole life in fear and never going out because something might happen, that blows. Like, that sucks. And if you live in a place that's that rough that you feel that way, I'm very sorry. And I fortunately don't live near a place like that. But like I said, that doesn't mean that nothing ever happens. Of course things happen. So, you know, it's just part of it, unfortunately. But you do the best you can, right? Look at what Alex posted in Showcase on the Discord, okay? What am I looking at? In the Showcase. Oh, that's fantastic. That is great. So, you all, if you're not already, this is a good That's a good segue, right? If you're not already in the Discord, here is an invite, and you can see what we're talking about. When I was at Colossal Con East over the weekend, I hosted karaoke for staff, for my fellow staff people in my department, on Saturday night, and I was trying to be good, right, and make it safe for people, talking about safety, right? So I got some gaff tape and I taped down the cables that were running across the floor so people wouldn't trip on them. But then I also made myself a goatee with the same gaff tape, and I had posted that picture on my Discord, and it looks like Alex has made a funny graphic with it. So if you go there, you can check it out. I'm okay. I'm not even gonna try. I can't parse your name, but you're asking if it's possible to get Poppin' Fever running. Is that my Discord? Yes. Poppin' Fever running with EMUs. Fever is what? 14, the one before. I think the answer is yes. If I'm not mistaken. Does EMU AMU support Fever? I think. So obviously you're not going to get onto like the real EMU server, the Konami EMU server. A, they're not going to let you on it, and B, they stopped supporting Fever a billion years ago. So, but is it possible on a third-party server or a local server? I believe the answer is yes. I haven't done it myself. The earliest I've done is Adventure, but there you have it. Oh, I know the game supports EMUs. I just don't know if you would be able to do it. I don't know if anybody's written the code to be able to support it, third-party wise. Don't know the answer to that question. Haven't tried to do it myself. I'm going to give that a definite maybe. But anyway, we are rapidly approaching the 3-hour mark. I haven't spent very much time over here on Prex 2. Does anybody else have any requests that they want to get in? I'm probably going to play, I don't know, maybe a couple more games. I know I haven't actually played that much tonight, but it's been mostly chatting. I might do another chat stream again. I don't know. We'll see. That's fun. Those are fun. But I'm running out of steam here, so I'm probably gonna, like I said, do maybe a couple more games and then be done for tonight. So if there's any requests that you want to get them in soon, because there's not a lot of time. I like how the demo, the girl just like teleports to the correct position. Just. My way? Okay, I can do that. Now the question is it better to go this way or that way? Oh wow, it doesn't speed up if you hold it. It just goes the same speed. Well, that's fine, I guess. There it is. My way goes either way. Nice.
See, it's a brand new era. I'm tired of the bullshit shouting. All the bondage you get don't play. Try to give me better than something. And get me started on a brand new day. But yo, who's that man that try to stop me? Tell me who, let me look at your face. I'ma do it all, do it my way. I'ma stand by with some hate. Stand myself down the side. Show the world, stop that crap. Something, all the bondage you get don't play. Try to give me better than something. Get me started on a brand new day. But yo, who's that man that try to stop me? Tell me who, let me look at your face. I'ma do it all, do it my way. I'ma stand by with some hate. House and roads don't need the metro. My flow super red line, I still go. The windows bleeding, a crying guardian. Alone in the gallery, ain't nothing happening. No one home, I feel the pride zone. I'ma say so low, yo, it's all possible. Please know I'ma get mine one so. No, it's natural, but for now it's time to go.
Either way, but my way. Correct. And DDR Games, I think you're saying that you're leaving, so have a good night.
It's just for you.
The stage clear jingle got stuck in your head. It's good stuff. Not really what I was gonna go for, but you know, it's what happens when you run out of time.
Powers that equal and surpass the powers of the Lord.
You motherfuckers need to know what time it is right now, right here. It's Joker beat time right here. You know what I'm saying? This is how we do it in 99 to the year to G. Check it. 여기 있는 사람들 모두 높이 손을 들어 리듬에 맞춰서 신나게 몸을 흔들어 이게 진짜 파티야 하는 생각 너도 들어 나도 진짜 죽인다 하는 생각은 들어 돌아본 소리 해줘도 절대 난 안 들어 거기 있는 아가씨 나는 아주 맘에 들어 그 아가씨 진짜 이쁜가 봐라 이리 봐라 나도 말하면서 손을 흔들어 좋아라 좋아라 너무나 좋아라 이란이가 김구용의 들을 떠나라 DJ와 MC가 만든 힙합 나라 쇼비키가 보고 있는 너는 사요하라 좋아라 좋아라 너무나 좋아라 이란이가 김구용의 들을 떠나라 DJ와 MC가 만든 힙합 나라 쇼비키가 보고 있는 너는 사요하라 99 Stardom
No.
That is a cute little jingle.
여기 있는 사람
그래 나는 너무나
I did.
Yo, 1,999. Can y'all hear me out there?
Stage clear. Game over. Alright. Let me refill my drink. I'm gonna do one more and then call it quits for tonight.
살 텐가 누구지도 몰라 이들의 불꽃을 꺼버리게 누가 허락했는가 언제까지 돌이킬 수 없는 잘못을 반복하고 살 텐가 또 그렇진 않아 Lick a shot city 설명할 수가 없어 내 눈에 오직 너만 보여 내 자신 좋았어 이 앞에만 서면 요즘 내가 왜 이러는지 나도 몰라 이 생각만 하고 자꾸 보고 싶고 만나면 난 너를 만나고 싶어 다가보는 분위기가 좀 멋진 카페를 우연히 하게 돼도 내 눈감이 생각을 하면서 나는 빨리 너와 둘이서 다시 또 와봐야지 너에게 내가 하는 모든 노래는 말로 설명할 수가 없어 내 눈에 오직 너만 보여 내 자신조차도 주체할 수 없는 이런 감정이 사랑인가 봐 난 지금 웃고 있어 너만을 생각하며 언제나 네 곁에서 너와 함께 할 거야
Oh, that should do this. Why not? forget, does this put the the spins in the double? I don't even remember. Let's find out.
Why don't you just get up and dance?
Too much
man?
for me. Oh man, am I gonna go out on a fail? Nah, I can't do that, right? If I put it on... If I put it on... If I put it on event, do I get one song? I think that's how that works. Is that right? Let's find out.
난 이제 더 이상 소용
Alright. How about Mission Possible? Is it possible to pass one song? To not go out on a fail? That's the mission. The mission is pass. And belch, apparently. Alright. And then that should be game over, right? Can let this play out, I guess. All right. Well, here we are. We made it to the end of another stream. Went about 20 minutes over on this one, but man, there was a whole lot of chit-chat, which is fine. Totally fine. Not a problem. That's not a complaint. That's just an observation. But this was intended to be a chill stream anyway, since, like I said, I played all of the new music during the Rebirth stream, so everything in here is something I've played before already anyway, so it was all gravy. But anyway, as always, thanks for joining me. It's been fun. Thanks for all the good requests and good questions and just general good conversation. So I appreciate you being here. And I will be back probably, I think, on Friday or Saturday. I'm not exactly sure which one yet, but one of those two, I hope, with Premiere 3, Prex 3. So we're going to round out the MK3 era, the old era, if you will. Then we'll be moving on to Exceed, where it'll start looking a lot more familiar to me, at least. But anyway, like I said, thanks as always. I appreciate you all, and I will see you on the next stream. Hope you all have a great night, and take care until next time. Bye, 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 bye. Bye, 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 bye.